Tex got a new haircut. He was showing off his new look in the house for a lot longer than necessary.
Looked like shit. Looked like before, looked like shit after. F it.
We have a tradition in the Andrews house after getting a haircut. We take the cut off hair and send it to our bald pig, who's also our landlord.
F it.
So we've been to the past, we've been to the present, and we've been to the future. There's really nowhere else left to go. Wait, is there something between the past and the present?
He made it to the end of time, and I tried explaining that to him. And to his credit, it is a tough concept to wrap your head around.
I always thought the end of time was less of a place and more of an idea, like religion or sociology or homosexuality.
He wound up at this pocket time distortion. It's like a hub between the fabric of space. Also, you learn magic there for some reason.
I learned magic. Chrono is lightning, Blondie is ice, and Luca is fire. Just like my mixtape. The black guy told me to say that. The guy at the end of time said to go back to my old time, so off I went. Apparently it teleported me into some European's cupboard. I remember that old arms dealer from the fair. He sold me a sword and a karate suit and a mango smoothie with a protein shot.
Melchior told him to go through the cave if he wanted to go back to the fair. And Tex told me it wasn't the first time he'd been fed that line by a creepy old man.
After smashing through the cave, I was flung out of the ocean, back onto land. Pretty much where I started.
He went back to 680 to find some answers. He asked me, do you think the constant back and forth between time periods could add more temporal distortions? I was like, F it, I don't give a shit.
There was a war on the bridge to the south of the castle. Apparently the food was running out and them soldiers was hungry. Back at the castle, the kitchen was a madhouse. And I've seen crazy kitchens. I used to work at one of the busiest McDonald's in southern Kentucky. Grimace used to run into the kitchen and dump the oil out of the deep fryer. Once we fed the soldiers, I made my way across the bridge and ran into a giant skeleton, which I mistook for Nicole Richie.
Tex just learned the hero had been found. Everyone was relying on him to find a sword in the Denadaro Mountains.
I was looking for the sword in Domino's Pizza Mountains. Turns out the boy wasn't a hero, he just found a hero badge in a cafe. He reminded me of this Mexican named Jesus we chased out of our church.
So he climbed the mountain and entered the cave where he would go toe to toe with Massa and Mooney.
I dropped them like a slippery habit. I guess the sword had been broken for a while. That was kind of weird. I found a little hole in the ground and would you look at that? My old pal Frog was there. I told him about the sword. He didn't seem too thrilled. Whatever. I found the hilt in one of his containers. Apparently it said Melchior on it, which suddenly begged the question, what does that spell?
He took the pieces back to Melchior, but he received some bad news.
He couldn't fix it. At first I was frustrated. If he couldn't fix it, who could? I wanted to call my dad, but they assured me he wouldn't be able to either. I found out I would need something called Dreamstone. The catch is, it hasn't existed for ages. Looks like I was going backwards in time again. Okay, now obviously this game is fiction, because they're telling me I can go back to 65 million BC, when obviously the Earth is only a few thousand years old. Science fiction my butt.
After going in the time portal, he was attacked by dinosaur-like lizards he said were a test of his faith. But he stopped giving a shit like me. He got f***ing weird about it, actually.
Two blondies.